Another crime case to ruin your day. Warning, this is a traumatic crime case. If you're not into that, then I would suggest you not watch this video, as it can give you anxiety or send you into a state of paranoia. It's 1989. Noreen and her husband John Boyle live in Mansfield, Ohio, with their son Collier and their 2-year-old daughter Elizabeth, who they adopted from Taiwan. They have been married for 20 years, and John is known as the top-rated doctor in the small town that they live in. According to outsiders, they seem to be a happy family, the picture-perfect American dream. But Noreen's husband, John, had a not-so-well-kept secret. He was having numerous sexual affairs with other women. According to friends of the family, Noreen knew of her husband's infidelity, but Noreen turned her head the other way and ignored it in an effort to keep her family together. But it wasn't long before their 12-year-old son Collier was old enough to figure out things for himself. In fact, he straight up seen his father make out with another woman known as Sherry Campbell right in front of him. As soon as Collier can, he tells his mother Noreen about what he's seen. He tells his mom, "I seen daddy kiss another woman. He has a girlfriend." She tells Collier, "Oh no honey, there's no way he has another girlfriend." She didn't want to believe what she was hearing. Although she already knew that her husband was unfaithful, she wanted so desperately to believe he would change. After this, it was the last straw for Noreen Boyle. After ignoring her husband's unfaithfulness for years, she files for divorce. Around this time, her husband, John, is planning to move his medical practice to Erie, Pennsylvania, 3 hours away. He asks his wife Noreen to join him there for a fresh start. On New Year's Day, 1990, Noreen missed a lunch date with her best friend. They had planned to eat together at a local restaurant, but she never came. Her best friend made several attempts to contact her. It actually made the friend so uneasy that she contacted the local police. She just didn't think this was anything like her best friend Noreen. Noreen's son Collier and John Boyle's mother hadn't heard from Noreen either, and they contacted the police as well. Police go to the Boyle family home and sit down with Collier and his grandmother. They ask him if he remembers anything from the previous night, the last time he saw his mother. He said that he did remember hearing his mother and father argue, Noreen and John, and that he heard his mother Noreen leave the home after the argument. She took off out the front door and left. During this conversation, police asked Collier where his father was. He said that his father John was in Erie, Pennsylvania, remodeling a new home that he had recently bought. And also, John had no history of domestic violence. They're not looking at him. Did Noreen Boyle leave to get away from her husband's infidelity, or was she a victim of foul play? Then, something no one expected coming. A neighbor came forward who was awake the night Noreen disappeared, said that he did not see anyone leave the residence between midnight and 4 a.m. Police searched the family home for any evidence of violence, but came up empty-handed. If you've been paying attention enough, then you remember earlier that I said Noreen's son Collier witnessed his dad John make out with another woman, Sherry Campbell. Collier comes forward with some more information about that day. He said that he seen his father being very intimate with Sherry, hugging, cuddling, kissing. That obviously struck Collier as odd, but what was even more odd was that Sherry was wearing a piece of jewelry on her finger, a ring, that belonged to his mother Noreen. You know how John purchased a new home in Erie, Pennsylvania? He purchased it right around the time of Noreen's disappearance, but that's not what's strange. It was the signatures on the purchase agreement for the home. The signatures on this paper were John Boyle and Sherry Campbell. Why would he purchase a home in his name and Sherry's name, a woman that he was having an affair with, around the time of his wife's disappearance? Investigators get in contact with the real estate agent that sold John the home. She says that on the day John came in to sign the papers on the new home, he did have a woman with him. She described this woman as being very young and pregnant, which did not match Noreen's description at all. Noreen was in her 40s and not pregnant. She also said the woman was a brunette. Noreen was blonde. What was also suspicious was that John did not negotiate the sales price. He agreed to pay the price in full in exchange to be able to buy the house within the next 3 days, January 1st. He wanted to buy this place immediately. He did not want it no later than 3 days. He needed to get it now. In the days after his wife's disappearance, he was also making frequent trips to this home. Mind you, this home is 3 hours away from where he lived, and he was driving there every day to do work on it. David Messmore decided to go to Collier's school to speak with him some more in private. He says to him, "Is there any more information you can give me about that night?" And lo and behold, there's more information that Collier has not told yet. Collier says that on New Year's Eve, he heard his parents, John and Noreen, having an argument in their bedroom. And then he heard a loud thump. and then about 30 seconds later, he heard it again. It was so loud that it petrified him. He said that within a minute after these thumps, his father walked down the hall to his bedroom and opened the door and stared at him for about a minute and a half. Collier played sleep at this moment, before closing the door and going back to his room. Collier says that the next morning, John told him that his mom went on a little vacation. Soon after this, John drove to Erie, Pennsylvania. He said that when his father got back, that his shoulders and his arms were so sore that he had to massage them for him, like he had been doing hard work on something. The investigation's just getting started. Investigators do a check of local businesses and discover that John purchased a jackhammer right before his wife Noreen went missing. They speak with the realtor again, the person who sold John the home, and she said that John was asking a series of unusual questions during this interview. This investigation is about to get wild. Go to part 2.